A very good day to all of you. In the lesson today, we are going to study another topic in grammar, which is infinitives and gerunds. Though some of us might have never heard the terms infinitives and gerunds, it is actually something that we use every day in our daily conversation. Both infinitives and gerunds happen to be in most of the sentences that we utter in our daily conversation. So, what is infinitive and what is gerund? So, infinitive and gerunds are basically verbs that we use in our sentences whenever we speak or we write. So infinitive refer to something, like to eat, to play, to swim, or to cook. While gerund is when you have a verb plus ing, like cooking, playing, swimming, and walking. So the differences are here. The difference is, for infinitive you have to, while for gerund you have ing. To cook, cooking. To play, playing. To walk, walking. Let us put it in a sentence. For example, when you say, I hate to walk at the park. So this is infinitive. So to walk. I hate to walk in the park. In the same sentence, you can also use gerund when you say, I hate walking at the park. So here, if you can take a look at the two sentences, the first one uses infinitive and the second one uses walking, which is a gerund plus ing. So the purpose of the lesson today is to see the differences between infinitives and also gerunds, because not all verbs you can use infinitive, not all verbs you can use gerund. So for example, the verb hate here, so hate is a verb, I hate to walk. You can use it with infinitive and you can use it with gerund, but not all verbs are like that. Some verbs, they can only be followed with an infinitive. Some verbs, they can only be followed with gerunds. So let us take a look at another example. When you say, she prefers red more than blue. So in this sentence, you can say she prefers to wear red more than blue, and to wear is infinitive. But in the same sentence, you can also say she prefers wearing instead of to wear. So same meaning, but one with infinitive and the other one with gerund. So let us now take a look at the differences between infinitive and gerund and the details with some other examples. So here are some verbs that can be followed by infinitives. When you say I agree, so when you say I agree, of course you'll have to use infinitive to follow the verb agree. So you say I agree to go to the ceremony. So you cannot say I agree going to the ceremony, which is grammatically incorrect. So the verb agree have to be followed by infinitive. So I agree to do something. The thing appears to be white, for example. So you cannot say the thing appears being white. She appears to be smart. That is correct, but you cannot say she appears being smart. So that is grammatically incorrect. The same goes to other verbs here. So the word choose, I choose to be here. You don't say I choose being here. I choose you to be my friend. You cannot say I choose you being my friend. I decide to go to UMK. So you cannot say I decide going to UMK. So you'll have to use infinitive after the verb decide. I deserve to have some respect. You cannot say I deserve having some respect. I expect to see you tomorrow. You cannot say I expect seeing you tomorrow. I forget to bring my lunch. You cannot say I or she forgets bringing her lunch. Or even more wrong, to say to bringing. I hope to see you tomorrow. You cannot say I hope seeing you tomorrow. The same goes to know how. I know how to do something, not I know how doing something. The students learn to cook with the teacher. So you cannot say the students learn cooking with the teacher. So basically, after the verb learn, it has to be followed by an infinitive, not a gerund. So the same goes to the verb manage, need, offer, plan, prepare, pretend, promise. With pretend, for example, the child pretends to not know to not understand anything. So you don't say the child pretends not understanding anything. So it has to be followed by an infinitive. You seem to be smart, not you seem being smart. I want to do something, not I want doing something. So I want to walk in the park. You don't say I want walking in the park. I wish to see some results, not I wish seeing some results. So these are some of the verbs that should only be followed by infinitive. So of course with infinitives you can say for example, I agree to meet her tomorrow. And of course you can also say I agree for you to meet her tomorrow. So in the second sentence you have for you, or you have the pronoun you added, and in between the verb agree and the infinitive, so which is also acceptable and okay for a sentence to be like that. So it is not always necessary for the infinitive to be exactly after the verb. So you can have the object. So this is the object, this is the subject I, the verb agree, and the subject you. So it is okay for the infinitive to be after you. In a different example, for instance, when we say some people are happy to help others. So the verb happy should be followed by infinitive. For example, when you say I am happy to see you, instead of I'm happy seeing you. So some people are happy to help others. This is this is the infinitive, to help others. Happy here is basically an adjective. So the infinitive can also be after the adjective. Like when you say I am sad. So sad is an adjective. I am sad to see you like this. So an infinitive can be after the adjective sad. And in a different situation, it is also possible to have the infinitive in front of the sentence. For example, like the infinitive to help, we can also put it in front of the sentence. So to help others is a noble value for someone to have. So to help others, so this is the infinitive. So you put it in front of a sentence. What else could be? To give something. So to give money away is the best thing we could do. So to give money away. So to give is an infinitive, and it is it can be placed in front of a sentence. So you can begin your sentence with an infinitive. So now that we have studied infinitive, now let us take a look at gerunds. If there are some verbs that that have to be followed by infinitives, there are also some verbs that have to be followed by gerunds. For example, when you say I admit doing the mistakes. You don't say I admit to do the mistakes. I appreciate, for example. So I appreciate you coming here to see me. She avoids looking at me. So you don't say she avoids to look at me. I began studying science when I was in primary school. I'm sorry, I began. So you don't say I began to study, but I began or I begin studying. I can't help seeing him like that. So you don't say I can't help to see him like that. I can't stand smelling your shirt. So you don't say I can't stand to smell your shirt. So it is to smell it. I consider looking for a different job. So you don't say I consider to look for a different job. So the same goes to other verbs here. I deny doing that something. So you don't say I deny to do that thing. And the verb enjoy, for example. So we say I enjoy playing badminton. You don't say I enjoy to play badminton. So there are some other verbs that should be followed by gerunds instead of infinitive. I imagine going to Mexico, not I imagine to go to somewhere. I hate eating crabs instead of I hate to eat crab. So I hate eating because it has to be followed by gerunds. She keeps on looking at me, not she keeps on to look at me. I like playing something. I love reading, not instead of I love to read. Um, I don't mind going instead of I don't mind to go. And there are some other verbs that should be followed by gerunds. For example, recommend. I recommend you moving out of my house instead of I recommend you to move out. I quit looking after her instead of I quit to look after her. The same goes when you talk about smoking. I quit smoking instead of I quit to smoke. So those are the verbs that um, grammatically should be followed by gerunds, ing instead of to infinitives. So the similar to infinitive, where you can use infinitive in front of the sentence. You can also use gerunds in front of the sentence. So to help, you can also say helping others is a noble value. Giving money away is the best thing. So that is okay, that is acceptable. And of course, it is also possible for a sentence to be like this. For example, when you say, um, my parents like to go fishing in the weekends. So this is basically gerunds, ing, although you have to something. So my parents like to go fishing in the weekend. So it is possible for a sentence to be like that. So not just fishing, but to go shopping, to go sightseeing, to go swimming, to go skating, to go camping, dancing, and some other actions. So now let us take a look at a few more examples of gerunds in a sentence. For example, when we say Sarah enjoyed giving money away. So giving instead of to give. The students appreciate receiving money from the college. So receiving after the verb appreciate. Also, as mentioned just now, you can also use gerunds in the beginning of the sentence, like giving money away is what she likes to do. So giving in front of the sentence. Another example, I remember reading the book many years ago. You can actually also ask questions like, do you do you remember reading the book? So this is also gerunds in a form of a question. So after the verb reading. So do you remember reading the book? Not do you remember to read the book. So you don't also say I remember to read the book. So reading is more suitable for the verb remember. So just like the first example here, my parents like to go fishing. Although you have to, this is still gerund with ing, to go fishing in the weekends or to go swimming. So you can also say, for example, normally when we write an email, we say I look forward to meeting you. So this is actually correct. It is grammatically correct to say I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to having you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So it is actually correct. She always care about helping people. So always care about helping. So here, this is what we have, the gerunds, ing, and we have what we call as the preposition. So she always care about helping people. So this is also another example of gerund in a sentence. So there are more details about gerunds and infinitives and many other examples in which you can refer to the notes given. But basically, all the basic idea of gerunds and infinitives have been discussed in this video. So I hope you can construct proper and grammatically accurate sentences when gerunds and infinitives are concerned. So that is all for today. I'll see you again in the next video.